Hello and welcome. My name's Super Saiyan and this is your weekly news and pre-order video covering all of the new releases from Games Workshop and Forge World. Very warm welcome to all of you new subscribers over the past week, and a massive thank you to all of the members and Patreons and everyone else that uses the Element Games affiliate link. It does make a massive difference to this channel and allows me to cover the new releases and continue to release daily content. Hope you've enjoyed the content over the past week. A bit of a summary. We started off the week very strong with the Angron review, and then I reviewed the other two World Eaters new units, and then we ended the week with the Horus Ascended review and the Deredio Pattern Dreadnought unboxing. That's not all for the World Eaters videos. There will be more unboxings and reviews later on once I've released the Combat Patrol. So without further ado, let's jump on over to the Warhammer community website right here, and we look at the news from the past week. We're going to go back in time to the 4th of March right here. So on the Saturday, we did have a look at some of the new models that were shown, the new reveals. I think the night before we had a look at Snickrot. You can still have him with the night vision goggles, I guess, but no longer does he have his finger pressed to his lips. They're paywalling him behind the new Combat Patrol, which has the Beast Snaggers and I think the Commandos and some Flash Kits. I might pick it up because the Commando set is pretty good. Snickrot, I don't have this new version, and I've only got 5 Flash Kits, so another set of Flash Kits. The Beast Snaggers I'm not so fussed about. Had a look at the new Commander Farsight model right here, and the Arcs of Omen book. I think that looks very, very nice. And the Boarding Patrol. So the paywall in Farsight behind the Combat Patrol. You've got this Realm Gore Ritualist. Doesn't look like she's in that set though, which is a bit odd. And then you've got this Lord of Hubris. There's the book, and then there's the Vanguard. Black Library, we had the Black Library pre-orders. You got paperback Archanaut's Oath and Black-Eyed Saint. The Resting Places, I think they're up for pre-order. And then also last weekend we had the pre-orders of the Caradon Overlords 3rd edition Battle Tome with the limited edition Battle Tome model, the Vanguard, the dice, some cards, and some Regiments of Renown. The Coven of Thrix, Big Rick's Cruel Shots, Hargrax's Pick Beasts, Veramord's Shamblers, Elthwin's Thorns, and Warhammer Underworld's Narwood, Grisel's RNA, and Beastbound Assault Rifles deck. So a lot of pre-orders there for sort of Age of Sigmar. I had a look at the very next day, about 6 PM. We have the pre-order preview, and this is what you've got to pre-order for today. So you've got the next book in the Arcs of Omen series. It's just simply named Vashtorr. You've also got a limited edition version of it. Wrath of the Soulforged King. So this is the new box set out today. It's got the new Chaos Cultists, so they're all new. They were released last year with the new codex. You've got the Venom Crawler and the Obliterators. They were released 3 or 4 years ago now. Vashtorr himself, very lovely looking model. Can't wait to get my hands on him. You've got Azrael, so brand new version of Azrael there. You've got the old Deathwing Terminators and some Intercessors. I'm skipping this set. There's a lot of repeats for me in this set. I will be picking up Vashtorr and probably Azrael when they come out separately though. You've got the Vashtorr dice set and a little photo of him, little portrait. You've got the Boarding Patrol Adeptus Mechanicus. This is great if you don't already have like a bajillion Tech Priest Dominuses. You've got the Boarding Patrol Chaos Demons, Boarding Patrol Death Guard, Border Patrol, Gene Stealer Cults. So the Orc one isn't going to be up today, I don't think. You've got the Imperial Knights dice set and Chaos Knights dice set. Finally, these are a long time coming. You know, it's only like last year that the new Knights codexes were released. But yeah, very strange that they're just deciding to release these. Are they just jumping on the 15 dice bandwagon? Yeah, there's some dice missing in them. Middle Earth strategy game. So you've got Faramir, Madril, and Damrog, Rangers of Ithilien. Gothmog, Lieutenant of Sauron. And for Warhammer Horus Heresy today, we can pre-order the plastic Typhon heavy siege tank. I think this is about 70 something pounds though, so just bear that in mind. And it's not the dual kit with the Cerberus. I kind of thought that would be the case, but I also thought if they had the chance of selling 2 kits, then they would. So that's what they're doing. So probably we'll get the Cerberus next weekend. But yeah, if you haven't already got a Typhon, then you know, today is the day to pre-order one. It looks fantastic. You can also pre-order Exodus for the Alpha Legion from Forge World, as well as the Traitor Esoterist Consul from Forge World. Odd that one. It's in Mark 6 power armor. Doesn't really go with any of my chapters. If anything, it'd probably go with Emperor's Children the most out of all mine. But yeah, I'm not picking up. There's a few reasons for that. It doesn't really fit with my armies. Raven Guard Mark 6 upgrades. And the Alpha Legion Mark 6 upgrades. We'll have a look at these in a bit more detail a bit later on. Character Heads upgrade sets as well, including Come With Me If You Want to Live, and the White Dwarf, as well as Black Library. You've got Cypher, Lord of the Fallen, limited edition by John French. Iron Man Eternal is in paperback, and then a couple of other novels in different languages. Warhammer Plus, this week we had Lore Masters for the Caradon Overlords, and we had Battle Report for Kill Team. So quite a lot in that pre-order preview. The next day, on the Monday, we had Ashwood Strangers, the last just Lawman in the Underhive. So no doubt this miniature will come out for resin from Forge World. Looks pretty cool. You got a little preview of the next White Dwarf, Arcs of Omen, with a mission in there as well. Armies on Parade 2023. So January, February, New Year, New Army. March, April, Supreme Command, Gods of War, Magicians and Machines, Battlefront, and the Grand Finale, or Final. And the Grand Finale. Another new model for the Skink Starseers. This looks alright. Now this was an interesting bit of news. Recycling trial announced. New life for old sprues. I always wondered for the past, number of decades why you can't just go and hand in your sprues and things, and now you can. So it's the first of its kind, popping up in various UK locations by the end of March. So you can take all of your sprues and you can just pop them in this sort of recycle bin. For me, it's probably worse for the environment to actually travel to my local Games Workshop just to hand in a few sprues. There would have to be a really good reason for me to, travel all that way, other than just dropping like waste off. No pun intended. Your mileage may vary with this scheme, but I guess if you're in walking distance or your local store isn't too far away, 10-20 minute drive, then it might be worth you just keeping a load of your sprues in a bag somewhere and then just taking them when you fancy going there. But these are all these participating stores, and I think it's pretty good that they're addressing that. Now, if only there could be a separate bin for Forge World resin gates, then that would be fantastic too, because especially if you buy a Titan or something, you end up with a decent amount of unused resin gates. A little sneak peek there for the Rumour Engine. Article about Commander Farsight. Article about Azrael. You can download his datasheet. He's equipped with a bolt pistol, but also Lion's Wrath, which is a master-crafted bolt gun, plasma gun thing. And he's also got the Sword of Secrets as well. Yeah, pretty good. And comes with a helmeted version. Yeah, looks great. So that's Azrael. A Guy Haley interview. You've got the Black Talon animation special teaser. You got 40 years Warhammer, Space Marine. Got their Rhino 40 years ago. Vashtorr's rules revealed. So you can download the Army of Renown, and you can download his data sheet as well. That's his hammer. Looks pretty good. 4 mortal wounds against vehicles. Wow. He really doesn't like vehicles, does he? Well, enemy ones at least. Minka gets a new miniature. Once again, another miniature with a sword and the scabbard on the same side as the sword. Very odd, but great that she's got a miniature. A little article with the designers of Vashtorr. Hopefully, they're responsible for the Dark Mechanicum and the Chaos Mechanicus, I guess. Hopefully, they're responsible for the Dark Mechanicum models that probably come out. Warhammer 40,000 Meta Watch. You've got the Horus Heresy Thursday. Now, this did come out of left field for me. I wasn't really expecting this because we've already got a plastic Vindicator. We've had a number of plastic Vindicators over the years, quite a few, and now they've decided to bring this one out. However, there is a icing on the cake on this one because it's going to be a dual kit, and you're going to have the Magna laser destroyers as well, so you can have both variants in the kit. And there are some subtle differences on the top there in terms of that big tubing and this tubing here. Obviously the front is different, but you'll have your normal Rhino chassis, but I think this kind of top bit is the same, but this bit is different, and I think this front bit is the same too, except for the cannon itself. So that's great. I'll definitely be picking up 2 of these, maybe 3. So that's great that they're releasing that in plastic. An article about Snickrot. No data sheet or anything for him. He's in the new Orc Codex anyway. You've got the Spanners article, and then you've got Vashtorr, the Archithane, and Supreme Grandmaster Azrael painted by the community. You've got Vashtorr can't fight in boarding actions, but his cultists serve him well with free boarding patrol rules. And then you've got a little 1 Typhon heavy siege tank versus 3 Vindicators, and they put it up against 3, which is interesting. Obviously, it is a Lord of War choice, so you're not going to be able to use a Primarch as well as one of these in your normal battles. Just putting that out there. And that's it for the news. So let's jump on over to Forge World. Okay, so here we are on Forge World's web store, and you might have noticed over the past few days, past week, that they have a last chance to buy for some of the heavy armour. I'm not sure I don't think any of these are coming out in plastic. Now and again, the moulds just deteriorate because they don't have the full big metal injection molds that plastic have. So these resin molds, they do deteriorate over time, life expectancy, I guess. Such is the nature of resin. So if you were after any of these tanks, now is probably a good time to pick them up as well. Also on the first page, you've got a look at the heads of Hydra. So the new Exodus model and the Raven Guard shoulder pads and heads, which oddly enough aren't shown on the thumbnail, but well. Let's just go on to new, and we click on pre-orders, and here we have all the heads and things. So let's stick to just the Legions first of all. So you've got the Alpha Legion Mark 6 shoulder pads. They look great. and the heads look pretty good too. I think they're fine. I think Mark 6 does suit Alpha Legion quite well, especially with the studded shoulder pauldron. Then the Raven Guard Mark 6 heads. I did think, right, there's not going to be much difference between these and just the standard Mark 6 Corvus pattern heads, but actually there's a few differences. You've got 4 helmets there with the Raven Guard symbol. You've got 3 that are very reminiscent of the Mark 6, but then you've got these 3 here where the lenses are thinner and their beaks are, I guess, more pointy, more peaky. There are enough differences, I'd say, there compared to normal Mark 6. And then, of course, you've got the shoulder pads themselves. Now, price increases. Of course, these were £14.50 before the price increase. They're now £15.50, so you're paying an extra pound. So yes, it's almost £16 just for 10 resin shoulder pads and heads. Luckily, these are the last 2 legions I think we've got for the heads and the shoulder pads. So if you had some of the earlier legions that were released, yeah, you've saved a few quid over the past year or so. Then what we've also got is we've got the Legion Astartes character heads upgrade set, number 1, all resin heads. They look pretty cool. And then you've got this set with I'll Be Back there as well. I'm not sure which headset I prefer. I probably would say this set, maybe. But it's important to note you get 15 heads in each set. So yeah, that means that if you buy both the sets, you should have more than enough resin heads for one box of sort of 20 Space Marines, which is good. Then you've got the 2 new minis up this week to pre-order. The Traitor Esoterist console. Price-wise, I think he's a bit too pricey. Compared to Praetors and things, I think he should be a bit cheaper, maybe £24 maximum. So £27.50. And then the Exodus is £36. Now that is pricey, but he does look very, very cool. The Esoterist, or Esoterist, however you want to call him, he does have a helmeted option. So yeah, he'll go well with your Mark 6 Space Marines. This is a bit misleading because it looks like he's got like 2 options, like the pistol or the book, but the pistol is still there, but it's just a little bit, further around. But then you've got the helmeted version, which I say would go quite well with your Mark 6s. He consists of 10 resin components. And the Exodus, the one who is many, of course, he's only got a helmeted version. Why would you have him without a helmet? He looks so cool. And they've done a fantastic job with that camo paint job at the back. That really sells the miniature. Fantastic looking mini. I think he's going to be quite popular, but yeah, £36 is a bit steep. And he's in Mark 4 as well. Oh, I guess it makes sense. Probably one of the quietest, quickest armours that they can have. He's a lethal HQ choice for Alpha Legion. He's got 11 resin components for that miniature. And that's it for Forge World. So nice to see some actual new releases from Forge World. They haven't really released anything for a few weeks, so that's great. And it's the sort of final conclusion to the Legion upgrades as well. So I think all of the Legion upgrade sets are now out. Now all we need to do is wait for the return of all the resin Contemptor Dreadnoughts. Okay, we're now going to move over to Games Workshop's web store right here. And on the very first page, you've got lots and lots of advert tiles, which is brilliant. You've got this big advert tile of Vashtorr, the Wrath of the Soulforged King. You've got an advert there for the book, the Arcs of Omen Vashtorr, and the Legion Typhon Heavy Siege Tank. I have pre-ordered it. I'm not sure whether it will arrive by next weekend. We will see. I would like to think that it will arrive by next weekend, but who knows? They've had some stock issues and things recently. We click on new and exclusive, and we go to pre-orders, and then view all, and we go high to low. You've got the Wrath of the Soulforge King art print collection. So you've got the box set, you've got the book, and you've got the art print, all for £195. You don't even get the special edition in that grouping, which is a bit tough. So if you want the art print and the special edition, you're going to have to fork out £250, which is quite a chunk of money. You've got the Wrath of the Soulforge King right here, £130. Really disappointed, very disappointed that you've got 2 new miniatures and then lots of old miniatures. Not even heavy intercessors. You've got the obliterators, you've got the venom crawler. We've all got about 20 of those now. You've got the cultists, which isn't a very good set either. I'm not sure why I know why they're bundling these cultists in lots of box sets recently. There is a reason for that, but yeah, Vashtorr. It's a shame because Vashtorr's such a lovely, lovely miniature, and I'd love to see Games Workshop really expand on this, a bit like with the Venom Crawler, to have more Dark Mechanicus miniatures. And Azrael is pretty decent too. You know, he's got a helmeted option. You've got the little watcher there. Yeah, looks great. But then they go and bundle all these old miniatures. I mean, I think you get the Dark Angels upgrade set in here as well. So 30 miniatures. You've got Vashtorr, Arcaphane. You've got 1 Venom Crawler, 2 Obliterators, 10 Cultists, 1 Supreme Grandmaster, Azrael, 10 Intercessors, 5 Deathwing Terminators, 2 Dark Angels Primaris upgrade frames, and Dark Angels Primaris transfer sheet. You've got the 24-page Wrath of the Soulforge King booklet, and that's about it. So no dice, no thick book, no. It's just a box. It's just a 24-page booklet. 2 new miniatures and a load of older miniatures. That's pretty much it. Bit of a shame. When I first saw that, my heart sank a little bit. Vanguard Carolina Overlords was last weekend. You got some of the Boredom Patrols, which are brand new. I think they're sold out on third-party websites because they're selling for about £68 with bargain, really. You've got the Boredom Patrol Chaos Demons, Boredom Patrol Gene Stealer Cults, £75. This is very confusing, all these Boredom Patrol sets being different prices as well, rather than a set price. I mean, would be great if they were all priced, I don't know, like £70, and then, you know, some of them would have been more popular and they would have still made a profit, but oh well. Just confuses people having them all different prices. Yeah, anyway, Death Guard 70, Typhon's Heavy Siege Tank. I think they've got some stock issues for this, whether you'll receive it on release day or not, is up to Games Workshop. So if you're trying to get it from a third-party seller, it's Games Workshop's say-so at the end of the day whether those third-party sellers will get it on release, which I think is a bit of a shame. I think there should be stock allocation. I think Games Workshop should always fulfill that. If you're dying to know what a Typhon Siege Tank looks in video and you'd like to have a look at all the size comparisons that I'm famous for, no, you know what I mean, that are ever present on this channel, then please feel free to type in Typhon Heavy Siege Tank into YouTube and you should get my unboxing and review all in one video from about 6 or 7 years ago. That tank, bearing in mind it's all resin and there's big chunky pieces of resin on the tank, it's a very heavy tank, and that cost me £109, so £49 more than this one. There's just so many more pieces in the plastic, so it's whether you want to spend longer building your model. But yeah, you can go and check out my unboxing review. The Regiments of Renown, they were last week. You've got the Arcs of Omen Vashtorr Collector's Edition, £55 there. Will they say how many pages it is? It's no longer available, sold out instantly, it seems. Quite a thin book, but it's number 3, 96 pages, fine. That's not too bad. You got the Battle Tome last weekend and the other regiments. Then you got Cypher Lord of the Fallen, £40, no longer available. That sold out pretty quick. There are 2,000, which to me doesn't seem like that much of a limited run. 500 seems limited, but 2,000, yeah, they're normally about 2,000, aren't they? But yeah, it doesn't say how many pages it is, which sucks. It looks like standard number of pages compared to like the Helbrecht book. But John French, very, very interesting story. I can't wait to read this one. Looking forward to it. Your Arcs of Omen Vashtorr, £35 out of stock, so just a standard edition book for the Arcs of Omen, also out of stock. Amazing. Obviously, you've got the data sheets for Vashtorr and Azrael in there as well. Gothmog, Lieutenant of Sauron. You can pre-order him today, £27.50. You get him on foot as well. And then Faramir, Madril and Damrog, Rangers of Ithilien, £27.50. It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. 2023 and we've got brand new plastic Lord of the Ring miniatures. It's just, who would have thought? Who would have thought? I would have never have guessed. You've got more Caradon releases from last week. Then you've got the Knights dice sets. They look quite nice in those pictures. But yeah, you're only getting 15 now. This seems to be the norm. And Vashtorr's dice sets too for £22. There was a time when it was £15 for 20 dice, then £18 for 20 dice, then £20 for 20 dice, and now we're into £22 for 15 dice. Will we get up to, I don't want to jinx it, but will we get to £30 for 10 dice? Imagine that, £3 per dice, you end up losing one. Yeah, you've got the pre-order for the Knights of Talasar Omnibus in paperback. You can still pre-order that, that's great. Araman Eternal in paperback, yep, you can pre-order that. It's $8.99, and then you've got the other books that were up for pre-order last weekend, and then you've got the White Dwarf up for pre-order today. So a huge amount to pre-order today, quite a lot. So you've got all those combat patrols, you've got the Typhon, you've got the Arcs of Omen, Vashtorr, you've got the Wrath of the Soulforge King, you've got a number of books. I mean, there is a lot to pre-order. I'm wondering if next weekend it will quiet down again, or whether they'll just hit the ground running and decide to release that World Eaters Combat Patrol, which we've all been waiting for quite some time. We'll find out at 6 PM tomorrow. What do you guys think of all the new pre-orders and releases today? What are you picking up? Put it in the comments what you're picking up and what your favourite pre-order is today. It'd be great to hear from you. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.